Runners around the country are checking Heartbreak Hill off their bucket list. This weekend, the Newton landmark got some attention that wasn't related to the Boston Marathon. I was roadside to see exactly what the commotion was all about this weekend in Chestnut Hill.
Good job, guys! Thank you!
Runners around the country know that Newton can break your heart.
Heartbreak Hill happens in the Boston Marathon at that exact moment where your body is really depleted.
Newton's landmark hill of the Boston Marathon earned its name in 1936 as the elder Johnny Kelly lost a momentous lead over Ellison Tarzan Brown. Now runners not up for 26.2 miles can feel the history of racing Heartbreak Hill without having to finish in Copley Square.
It doesn't matter if it's in the Boston Marathon or in the Heartbreak Hill 10K or half marathon. You run up Heartbreak Hill, you know it, you deserve the trip to Disney World or wherever you're going.
I've run it a lot of times in training. I live in Waltham nearby. I've done it a million times, but at the end of a 13-mile race, those last 2 miles are pretty tough.
Runners World came to Newton this weekend and spent 3 days running and celebrating the iconic hill. Runners running the race on Sunday, sure, they tested their calves on the inclines, but they also tested their endurance in Sunday's heat.
It was horrible. It's so hot out there. It really slows you down. You get really dehydrated. You have to stop for water breaks. It's pretty tough.
It was rough. It's a little hot out today, so I thought I saved enough for the end, and I maybe had to walk a tiny bit, but pushed through.
Temperatures during the weekend races got into the upper 70s. However, that didn't stop over 6,500 runners from finishing the 5K, 10K, and half marathon.
I think the crowd pulled you in. It was hard. It was an uphill, but on the way in and the music, the festival is just awesome.
It was my first time, and I ran above that pace for me. 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 14 seconds.
Among the runners was a familiar face for those in the Boston and elite running communities.
At first I didn't realize it was her, and then I heard the name, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is her. I gotta keep up with her.
Elite runner Shalane Flanagan.
Well, that hill is tough no matter what pace you run it, whether it's running the marathon and racing it or just even jogging it. But I think what's so cool about it is that you can think of all the people that have run up that hill, and there's been some really amazing athletes and famous people that have run in those, basically following in those footsteps.
Not only did runners get to run with Flanagan in each of the races, she was also a part of the wider festival that included autograph sessions and seminars.
We're having our editors here at the festival giving free seminars all afternoon, and you could be a master's runner and there's a seminar on master's running. A women's runner, there's a seminar on women's running.
The festival offers a gateway to running Heartbreak Hill with shorter races and those educational resources for beginning runners.
It's definitely intimidating the first time that you kind of commit to a race, just are coming off the couch and haven't really done much running, but all I can say is that it gets better, but you definitely have to just progress really nice and slow, whether it's running a half mile and then a mile, and if there has to be some walking in between, so be it. But the beautiful thing about running is what you put into it, you get out of it. So the more you do, the more it'll pay off.
For more information on next year's event, visit runnersworld.com/HH-half. Reporting with Newton News, I'm Ashley Davis. While the event drew runners from around the country, locals must have had the edge in training as they dominated the upfront finishes. Boston local Eric Ash came in first place, finishing in 1 hour and 10 minutes.